When I look at the Miramichi River, I mean, what we've seen is a general decline over the last 25 years. And we've had some good years, and we get a year or two and it's really good, but then it drops again, but it seems to keep going lower. And so sometimes it takes a crisis to sharpen your pencil and your thought process and come up with a strategy to move forward.
We do have a lot of experience with other rivers to the south where we didn't act in time and we've lost those rivers. And so I think really what the overarching goal here is to try to make sure that we are prepared for the changes that are going to come not only to the Miramichi River but to the Restigouche River and all of the other Atlantic Canadian salmon rivers.
This is a species that's incredibly complex that we're all interested in. But imagine there's a species that runs 5 to 10,000 kilometer round trip. Saltwater, estuaries, freshwater, small streams, big rivers. So to understand what's going on that's driving these low numbers is a very complex question, a difficult one to answer by any one group.
We have some of the brightest scientific minds on Atlantic salmon around the table, part of the CAST technical committee, both Atlantic Salmon Federation, Miramichi Salmon Association, University of Brunswick, Canadian Rivers Institute, and DFO, and the province, so on and on. We are trying some things that have never been done anywhere. We are going to test and monitor all the way through during the 5-7 year lifespan of CAST. Then we can take the CAST model and maybe apply it to other rivers in New Brunswick, in Atlantic Canada, who knows where.
So I'm an angler, and this is my only hobby. I'm a business guy, and to have salmon in our rivers for today, but just not for today, for the future and future generations, so that future generations can see that wild salmon in the river, can fish for that fish. It's exciting, and I think is a challenge we're taking on with CAST, and we're hoping we can get other people involved in this challenge, that we can get the salmon back to a sustainable level.
The Atlantic salmon has been a big part of New Brunswick's communities and culture and economy forever. I'm pleased to be part of this program we've got underway here at the current time. Our CAST project is made up of quite a diverse group of people and organizations. We've got the universities, we've got industry, we've got the associations, and we got interested community partners. And I'm enthusiastic about it. I think it's great because we've got to do something to improve the Atlantic salmon here in Eastern Canada, and we're taking the job on, starting with the Miramichi as a model project.
The Atlantic Salmon Predator Study will determine what impact striped bass in the Miramichi River and cormorants on the Restigouche River are having on the survival of juvenile Atlantic salmon. Salmon Ocean Tracking Program, using pop-off satellite tracking tags, will collect better data on salmon migration. This will help understand when, where, and why salmon loss happens. ARIS Sonar Population Tracking. New sonar technology in the river in Blackville, New Brunswick is counting the number of returning salmon, providing more accurate data about salmon populations on the Miramichi. Thermal imaging water-based LiDAR. Using an infrared heat-seeking camera mounted on a helicopter, the rivers are scanned to detect cold water sources. With this information, we can identify, protect, and develop the best habitat for salmon. Adult Salmon Release Program. The MSA hatchery at South Esk on the Miramichi will be converted to raise wild Atlantic salmon smolts to adults, giving them a head start and reducing at-sea loss during migration. Aquatic Data Warehouse and Stock Recruitment Model. An electronic data warehouse of all habitat, stocking, and research information will be created. Scientists will be able to use salmon records and patterns to respond quickly to changing pressures on salmon and their environment.
Our goal isn't just to have a few salmon in our rivers. Our goal is to recover the rivers in New Brunswick, the Miramichi, Restigouche, and again, if this is applicable, if this works and we can apply it to other areas, recover wild Atlantic salmon runs throughout eastern Canada, not just to the point that they're meeting their minimum conservation targets, but to the point that there's an abundance and a resource that is there for all of eastern Canadians, for anglers, for First Nations, and everyday citizens.
You just simply do not get this kind of an opportunity where you have a collaboration with as many players in the room, with the financing available to support the research.
I care about this not only as a researcher, but as an angler, because you know what, you go to New Brunswick especially, you know, the greatest thing about this province from my perspective as an aquatic scientist is the variety and beauty of the rivers here. And they're beautiful, especially when they're teeming with salmon the way they used to be and the way they hopefully could be again.
And then we need the broad support of all New Brunswickers. We need to thank the politicians who are supporting us in this effort. You know, this is critical. So with everybody working together, as a team, we will be successful. And the salmon will be much more successful. And our objective is just not to have the rivers survive. We want the rivers to return to their former productivity. So we have high levels of stocking. And it really enhances fishing experience in the province, helps the economy of rural New Brunswick, but most of all, the environment is right for the salmon.
We're there. It's time. We've got to get going. We're moving on. There's no stopping us now.